listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.
Hey, Rifters, welcome to the show. Subscribe, rate, review. My usual pitch. Anyways, we got a great show. The great Victor Pachecho is in the Zoom with us today. Victor, how are you?
Great. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
It's doing great. We're doing good. We're rocking and rolling, as Pablo Francisco would say. We're rocking and rolling. And you're like, okay, cool. We got a couple shows coming up, Victor, that we should plug. For the shows, we have. That's it. No shows. All right, cool.
I was like, I didn't send you my schedule.
I was like, oh man, when's my next gig? I don't know. Like, so that's the thing that sucks about comedy. Okay, for the folks at home. So usually March through May, that's what I like to call the hot month, where like, oh my God, you're on stage all the time. You know what I mean? And then it slows down. Then September to October, it's the hot month again. And you're like, then it slows down. And I'm in the slow down, no one wants to book you month.
Yeah, those months are the toughest, man.
They're the toughest. So
you gotta stick through them, man. Otherwise, it's fucking in vain.
I always tell people you gotta stay alive until March because it's gonna become hot. Okay, for the folks at home, that was a joke I was trying to make Victor laugh. Clearly, it wasn't funny, but
it was funny. It wasn't LOL funny, but it was funny.
I don't need your.
Oh man, I love that. I made it awkward.
Awkward, jeez.
Yeah,
we're getting the reviews right now. Man, Victor really fucked Keith on that one. No.
Left him hanging.
Left him hanging.
Yeah.
All right, we got it. Ooh, I got a notification. My phone now has the AI feature, so I could be listening to music or something, and then it will say new message from Victor, and then it will read me Victor's message in like a girly AI voice.
Jesus Christ, dude! That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Yeah. It says Victor.
Yeah, it'll be like, hey, Mike. It'll say something like, hey, I thought my computer was turned on, but it's not. And when a girl AI says that, I think it's a girl named Victoria or something. Hey, Adrian Martinez is in the building.
Nice.
Okay, Victor Daylight. Okay, I'm 0-2 tonight, folks.
No, I mean, I thought you were going to say something else. And then I was just like, okay, let it ride out. Okay, you missed it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, go.
Well, they can't all be good, Victor.
No, I was talking about my transitioning back in, but
Adrian Martinez is in the building. How are you, Adrian?
To you.
How are you? Thank you so much for doing the podcast.
Yeah, why not, man?
Yeah. Adrian, we're doing good. Adrian, this is Victor. He's the trusty sidekick.
Hey, what's up, Adrian? Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
So, yeah. So how is it? Are you in Los Angeles? Because I thought you were in New York.
I am in New York.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I'm here with my trusted staff.
Oh, nice. Hi, trusty staff.
Yeah. I guess they're out to lunch.
Excellent. Cool. So thank you so much for doing it. And I want you to know that I've always loved your work. And I saw this movie recently, and I've seen it before, but I saw it a couple weeks ago, and I thought to myself, oh my God, this was so fantastic. I Feel Pretty. I thought your scene when Amy Schumer's like having a meltdown or whatever, I thought your scene was just so good because you weren't funny. It was like really dramatic. Like I saw a really good side to you, so I like that.
Oh yeah. You are blonde. You are brave, and you got this.
Yeah. Yeah, that one too. But like when she loses her magic and you said something like, who are you or what's wrong with you? And
Yeah.
I just thought because your character, you were so funny in the whole movie, and then you just had that really sympathized heart moment. And I wanted to know, like on a comedy like that, like how did you change the dynamics for that?
Well, first of all, I have to say that movie was a great experience, and Amy is a fantastic person and a pure delight to work with. She's an A-lister, but you don't feel that when you work with her. So it's all about feeling safe on a set, and she took me in. I mean, we had done a few Inside Amy Schumer episodes,
Yeah.
including one where it was called 12 Angry Men Inside Amy Schumer. Um, and that was something worth checking out. It's hysterical. It's on YouTube somewhere, I think. But it all led to this moment when I was doing I Feel Pretty, and I just feel like she's like a sister to me, and I have absolutely no inhibitions. I was allowed to ad lib and just do my thing, and so it comes from that. It comes from just feeling safe and secure with the star, and that was there, and so I just let it go. That's it.
Oh, that's awesome. Like I said, it was a really, I think it was probably the best part in the whole movie because it was like real touching. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
liked it.
yeah.
So
Yeah, she's like a little sister to me. That's how I think of her, like just someone you want to protect.
uh, I only met Amy once because I do stand up comedy, and she was doing the roast for Charlie Sheen or something, and so she went on the improv like to practice the roasts, and all the comedians of the night were like, "Oh, we don't want to follow Amy Schumer because it was like open mic night or something," and she ended up doing like 25 minutes or something. And I was like, "I'll follow her. I don't care. I bombed horribly, but she saw me bomb with pride."
Listen, it's a very courageous thing to be stand-up.
Yeah.
I uh I remember she told me once, listen, you should do stand-up. It's the fastest way into big success in Hollywood. I just am terrified of it, and I just applaud anyone who can do it.
I think you would be great at stand up.
Yeah, I just got to get over myself and do it. Like I have jokes, I write things that I think are funny. I would rather do film and TV than stand up,
Yeah.
but to me, it's all in the mix these days, like one feeds the other, and I should just dive in and do stand up. But I'll let you know when I get there.
No, definitely, because I just think you would be a natural, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you're so funny and you're so confident, and really in comedy, you just need that confidence, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think you're good.
Before we go on, Victor, can you keep it down?
I'm trying my hardest. I'm really yappity usually. I'm like trying really hard.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the dog that's farting. I don't know. Something's going on.
Oh no, wait, that wasn't me. If there was a fart sound, that definitely wasn't me. I thought
There's
you
a
were making
dog
fun of me
behind
for
you.
that.
There's a
Oh
dog
no.
behind
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
you. Oh, there they are. Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be funny if I was just doing this at a dog park right now. I'm like, yeah, I gotta keep it down because these dogs are like really after me right now. But yeah.
No, Adrian, I wanted to ask you. So when you got Cop Out, which I thought it was a great comedy, you've been doing all these, small parts and stuff. When you got Cop Out, because when I try and audition stuff, I get like anxiety and stuff like, oh, what if I didn't get it and stuff like that. But Cop Out was a big, big, nice movie role. Like, did you have that feeling like, okay, things are going to be okay after you got that?
I've never had that feeling. I don't have it now, and I'm not going to ever have it.
Oh,
This is a business where, it's not a meritocracy. You have to earn every little thing you get. I mean, unless you're one of those Nepo babies, and you just have to really, and even they have to earn it in their own way. It's a business where it doesn't matter. Like I don't know, a lot of credits. I don't know how many, but a lot.
yeah.
And I still have to audition and do self-tapes and Zooms with directors. I just did one now, uh, a couple of days ago. Um, oh, we love you. We adore you, Adrian. We this. As soon as they say they love you, you're not gonna get it. I don't know why
Oh,
that.
really? Okay.
I would prefer, you know what? Go fuck yourself, Adrian. You can try to do this. Uh, we all know you're gonna fucking suck, but go ahead, do it. I would much prefer that than, oh my God, we love you. We saw you in this and we saw you in that. Yeah, go ahead whenever you're ready, because I've had a career where whenever they say that, I don't get it, and so I don't know why that is, but
Uh,
showbiz. So
uh,
it's a tough business. You always have to prove yourself. One plus one equals,
two.
tape recorder.
Oh, right.
It doesn't make none of it makes sense. You just got to keep showing up.
Uh,
To me, there's no difference between show business and just like waiting for the train in New York, the subway train. The doors open up. Maybe there'll be a seat right in front of you, and maybe there won't be. But you
uh,
just got to keep showing up, train after train, and then one day you'll get a seat. That's really, I don't really see a difference because it's not a meritocracy. I mean, I must have worked with like 40 Oscar nominated and winning actor, directors, blah, blah, blah. No one gives a shit. You still got to come in and do the dance. And I do the dance because this is what I love to do.
have you ever worked with somebody where, like, say you worked with somebody in 2002 or whatever, and they remembered your talent and your skill, and then they brought you back like years later, just remembering you?
I mean, I can't off the top of my head. I mean, I know I just read for Amy Schumer's new movie. We did I Feel Pretty. When did we do I Feel Pretty? 2018. So we shot it 2017. So yeah, that's 7 years ago, incredibly. So I just read for her new movie, on a Zoom with the director and the producers. She was not in the room. Um, Uh, but I did my best. But yeah, I mean, there again, like they know what I
Yeah,
did with her, and I Feel Pretty. So, but you still gotta, for the big, big roles, you still gotta do the thing because the studio, in this case, Netflix, they need to see the audition. They need to make sure everything's cool.
yeah.
And so there it is. And
No,
sometimes I get offers, sometimes, like, hey, we would love to, like I just did an episode of Severance for Apple, and Ben Stiller's behind that. And I did The Secret Life of Walter Mitty with him.
which is a great movie, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so. I think it's a sweet movie. But that was like 2013. Now it's like incredibly was it 2013? Yeah, now
yeah,
it's like
I
10
think
years
so.
later.
I think it was his last movie because after that, I think he kind of disappeared for a while.
Yeah, well, he's not disappeared as a director.
Yeah,
He's doing Severance. He did that other thing where he was like a prison. It was based on like a real love story between the guard and one of the cops, female guards that were there, and then one of the inmates. I can't escape from Dannemora, I think it is. Anyway, he
okay.
was the creator behind that show. So he's doing a lot of really wonderful directing work and producing work.
Yeah.
Um, and he's still a badass.
Well, he's always been a great director. People don't realize it, but he actually directed The Cable Guy, which is one of the funniest
Yeah,
movies. You know what I mean? So,
no, absolutely. And Walter Mitty, I think, will stand the test of time. And So yeah, they brought me in for Severance, and I booked that, and I don't know when that's coming out, probably next year. But so yeah, that's another example.
now, are auditioning for you like because you strike me as a guy who's very comfortable auditioning via Zoom in the computer. So like, do you like it better than going to a room and doing your thing?
I mean, I could do it either way. It doesn't matter to me. Zoom's kind of weird because,
Yeah,
you can't really gauge the atmosphere in a Zoom,
yeah,
as much as you can in person. Like I know Victor Pacheco hates me.
I don't at all. I had a realization while you were talking. I was like, I know this guy. I've seen him while I was intoxicated. I've seen him sober, and I've seen him while I was becoming sober. And I was like,
Yeah.
you're from The Sopranos. I know you. And I was just like, I know you. And then like I was just like, and like I had like a coming to Jesus moment. I'm like, oh my God, I want to ask like so many questions about that. But like this
Yeah.
is your real voice, right? Because this is not your voice in The Sopranos at all. So I was just like, this guy looks like somebody I know. Like and like that's why I'm just like, oh like, oh my, I don't know if you saw me go like that. Like I just
Yeah.
it wasn't that I was like I was just shocked. I was like, oh my God, I know him. You're Ramon. And
We
like
all just figured you were high.
no, I mean, yes, absolutely, absolutely, but no, I mean that was like 20%.
Yeah.
There was like 80%. Like, oh my God,
Yeah.
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 Sorry, no, I really love you, man, and I really
Uh,
respect everything
Thank
that
you,
you're doing
Victor. I
in your work,
appreciate that.
and I love your voice, and I had no, I really thought that was some dude that was like that was his voice. I don't know if that's like your real voice, but I have no
Yeah.
idea. Um, it was very
Yeah.
believable though, very believable.
Victor,
Yeah, I was
why?
just I was just a kid. I was like I think I was like 20 when I did that. I've been at this since I was 16. That was my first credit as a teenage track star, incredibly. Um, but yes, Sopranos was fun. Yeah, that it's got its what is it, 25th anniversary or something like that now.
Yeah, something like
Oh
that.
God, yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
I'm starting to watch the whole series again. I just love it.
Oh, it's
yeah.
amazing. I've seen it over 30 times. It does not get old. Does not
Yeah,
get old. Timeless.
yeah. Did you ever see the episode Whitecaps? I think.
Yes.
Well,
Yes. I haven't seen it in a while, but I've seen it a lot of times where he buys that property trying to save his marriage.
yeah,
That was incredible story. I mean, every single episode was an incredible story, and
yeah,
each episode had like multiple stories going on, like uh plot line A, B, C, D. It was just so many stories going on at the same time, how they intertwine and then carry on to the next episode. And there's like a prequel type of thing, like what happened. And it was just amazing.
yeah. Whenever I need like an infusion of greatness, I watched that episode particularly the fight scene between Gandolfini and Edie Falco, when they're both going at it, and she calls him on all the cheating that he's done throughout the whole marriage. If you haven't seen it, if you don't have Max,
You
it's
gotta
on
watch
YouTube.
it. Yeah,
It's on YouTube, and it is one of the more fantastically moving fight scenes between a couple you'll ever see. And the episode's called Whitecaps. And I just recommend everyone who wants to be an actor or aspiring to be or you just love acting, watch these two go at it. Rest in peace, James Gandolfini, brilliant man. And yeah, whenever I need a hit of something really special, I watch those two go at it. Or
yeah.
I'll watch Anthony Hopkins in his latest film, The Father, where he
Oh
starts
yeah,
when that scene where at the end of the film where he can't remember why he's at the facility and he's just, I miss my mom. I miss my mom. Oh my God.
yeah. Anthony Hopkins. I one of my friends is Jake Weber, who was in Meet Joe Black, and he told me that working with Anthony Hopkins, it was just so like life changing because he's a guy who doesn't think he's an actor. Like apparently he when he's not like memorizing lines, he's reading literature and stuff. Like he thinks of himself more as a teacher, and he said that that really helped him a lot acting aside him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
100%.
so I wanted to ask you, have you ever been into a fight scene where you had to block like that, like crazy or nothing that because I know in Lady and the Tramp, you had to work with dogs.
Yeah, those bitches were crazy. Let me just tell you.
Great timing. You knew when to take a sip too. Adrian, you're a natural, dude. You took a sip right. Yep. Dude, you got to get on stage, man. That was professional level 10-year comic at least right there, man.
Uh, uh,
At least. That was a perfect swing. You look all honest too and you're doing it like, yeah, you know that was funny.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. I'll get to it. I got a lot on my plate. Besides filming, I'm I'm directing and writing and acting, and my wife wants me to do a memoir of my life. She wants me to write a play. She wants me to do the dishes. She wants me, you know,
So it's so hard to write when you got to do the dishes.
it just goes on and on with my to-do list.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I did some writing today. I actually wrote a to-do list. So there you go.
Well, speaking of writing, you wrote and directed I Gilbert, which I thought was fantastic. And the thing
Oh,
is, you
you
did,
saw it?
yeah. And the
Thank
thing
you.
is, you did it during COVID, which I thought was probably even more fantastic. So I wanted to know, what was that experience like?
Yeah, it was partially shot during COVID. I mean, I shot, I would say half of it in 2016, and then I ran out of money, and then it just got put off, and then just before the COVID outbreak hit, we shot the rest. It almost killed me, to be honest, because it was just a lot on my plate, and it was a low budget. It was all my money, and I people ask me like, "How'd you get the funding?" And I said, "Well, I transferred it from savings to checking," and they
My
they were like,
God.
"Dang, okay, that's really helpful." But all I can tell you is don't do that. I mean, I would never do that again. Right now,
Yeah,
I got another movie I want to do, and it's a $5 million budget, and so I'm shopping it around. I'm not going to spend that money now. I mean, you gotta believe in the project and help produce it with me. But yeah, that was a tough shoot because the movie that I shot, it was very much bare bones, and cast and crew would leave because they just got better offers elsewhere, and I don't blame them. I would have done the same thing, but it put me in a position of absolute panic most of the time. But eventually knocked it out, 20-day shoot, um, and put it in festivals and then won some awards internationally. I'm glad to say it's streaming pretty much everywhere in this country and Canada and London. So, it has found its life, its world.
yeah.
Um, and I'm proud of it.
So how cool is that? Like, because it's like, I mean, I would assume all your movies are your babies, but I Gilbert probably has like, it's the one that you actually birthed from yourself. So like that one you have to have a little more love for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, most of my career has been the sidekick,
Yeah, like
Uh,
Victor.
right. Yeah. Less talking. Um, but I got to a point where, I was just like, okay, I need to scare myself. I need to challenge myself. I need to do something out of the box. And this story about a guy who feels disenfranchised from the world and can only connect with people through his phone and, just kind of like taking pictures of women. And it just resonated with me because it actually is based on a true story of a guy who I saw do that.
Uh,
And he was so cold about it. He just walked up to this woman and just started like taking pictures of her, and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he had like no reaction. He was just like dead inside. And I just thought, who is this guy? And I have a teen daughter, and I was just like, where is this going? Who is she gonna date if this is the crowd?
right.
And with AI and everything else, it just feels like very much an issue between man and technology. And I don't even think we have scratched the surface. I just know that when I go to CVS, I'm doing all the work and no one's paying me. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely.
With all
Like,
the,
yeah,
the AI
self
shit.
scans and all that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, wherever you go now, it's just like, so, it's interesting. So I had to tell, my perspective on all that, and I did the movie. I'm proud of it.
it's awesome. And then I wanted to ask you about extremely loud and incredibly
Oh,
close.
yeah.
Yeah, because I thought that was a fantastic film.
Oh, yeah. What year was that? 2011. My God. Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Hanks and Sandra Bullock. I liked it because like it was about a Victor. In case you don't know, it was about a kid with autism who loses his dad to 9/11, and they did like little game adventures. And his dad left him one more adventure, so he searches that adventure with this older guy who turns out to be his grandpa, and I just thought it was just so touching.
Yeah. Yeah, it deserved a better life. But two fantastic memories from that. One was the um I got the role, and Stephen Daldry directed it. Wonderful man, wonderful director. He's one of the exec producers of The Crown, um, which is also an amazing series.
Yeah.
But this movie, he came into the trailer where I was getting hair and makeup, and he was very kind and very British and very gentlemanly. And he said, "Mr. Martinez, how are you? Do you have any ideas for our scenes today?" And because we don't really have much dialogue for you, but I'm open to anything. So I suggested that Hector Black, the character I'm playing, actually doesn't know English. And so when Sandra Bullock approaches him looking for this clue that's in the movie, he has no idea what she's saying, but he feels her pain and he just hugs her. And so when you see the movie, you see my character just hugging Sandra Bullock over and over and every time she starts a sentence, he hugs her because he doesn't speak the language, but he just feels empathy for her.
Right.
And that's the scene. He loved that idea, and that's the scene we ran with, and that's what you see in the movie. I showed up in Brooklyn somewhere. The PA walked me over to this huge Esplanade car, and the door opened, and Sandra Bullock was there sipping a coffee. I had no idea I was working with her. They kept it a secret.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I had no
Wow.
idea. So they just like led me to Sandra Bullock sipping a coffee, and she was just, "Hi, I'm Sandy," and I was like, "Holy shit!" And I said, "Listen, I gotta be honest with you. I mean, you're Sandra Bullock. I'm a little nervous hugging you in this scene, but I think that's the way to go in this scene." And she said, "Oh, come here." And she gave me this big fucking hug, man. And I was just like, oh,
Oh my God.
this is why you put in all the grunt work is for these golden moments. And then the other sweet moment, it was at they they had a screening for all the 9/11 family members who lost people on 9/11. So some of the survivors were there, and the relatives of those who didn't survive were there. And it was Lincoln Center, big screen, packed house. And they invited me and Max von Sydow to do a Q&A. And I was just blown away just sitting next to Max von Sydow,
Yeah.
you know, in the waiting room. I mean, this is the guy, man. If you don't know who he is, watch The Exorcist. He's the priest, the older priest. But he worked with phenomenal directors like Ingmar Bergman and on. The Seventh Seal and just incredible filmography. So I was just honored to be in the same breathing space with this man. And then after the film screened, all these 9/11 families, like people would see me there and they would ask for hugs. That's it, like I hugged Sandy Bullock in the movie
Oh,
as kind of like a plea for connection,
yeah.
And I must have hugged 50. I don't know. I feel like I hugged all of them. Like they just like, and it was the most beautiful night. It was just the most beautiful night. And so yeah, those are my two memories of that project.
Oh, those are great memories. But
Yeah.
not but were all the hugs as good as Sandra Bullock's hugs, or were they?
Um, let's just say it was all great. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then I saw a movie that you did. It probably came out uh probably this year. It was the Dracula movie with
Renfield.
Renfield, yeah, with
Yeah, yeah.
Nicolas Cage. And how was working with that guy?
Yeah, it's interesting. There's a scene that got cut from the movie where he kills me. He just bites me and kills me. And but I remember rehearsing him with that scene. It was the second movie I worked with him.
Oh,
I worked with him on a movie Let me see, because I forget where I've been. Army of One, which is a movie that Larry Charles did. This is 2016. It's streaming somewhere, but it didn't get distribution.
Is that the
And
Russell Brand one where he's God?
yes, I think that is
Okay.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, he plays like this weird guy who wants to go and kill Osama bin Laden, and this weird, funny plot. So that was an offer. They said, "Hey, do you want to go to Vancouver and work with Nicolas Cage?" Yes, I do. So they just flew me out, and I knocked it out, and it was great meeting him and shooting this weird scene with him where I play like some sort of quasi drug lord, aka car salesman. Like, he's trying to
Yeah.
pretend but maybe he's that. Very ambiguous. I still don't know who I was in that. Um, but it was great. I'm in Vancouver working with Nicolas Cage, one of my heroes. And
Uh,
then like, let's see, 6 years later, I'm in Renfield, and yeah, I got to work with him, meet him, very nice man. And I remember sitting in the trailer, and it was just Nick and me. We were just sitting in like maybe 15 feet apart from each other. And he was in full vampire gear. He had the nails were like 3 inches long, and he had all the makeup on and the outfit and everything. And I never spoke to him. I never initiated a conversation with him. I just laid low, especially when he's dressed like a vampire.
right, right.
And then all of a sudden he says, Adrian, we find ourselves in strange places, don't we? Yes, yes, we certainly do. That was it. That was the whole conversation because he was referring to
From
that
the
other,
first movie, yeah.
and now, he's a vampire. I'm a flunky cop. We're in New Orleans. It's just weird.
Oh, that's a,
But yeah, I don't know. I love the guy. I just love the guy. Did you see Pig?
I did. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah. He-
Oh my God. Like
yeah, he's terrific.
I've always I've always loved Nicolas Cage, and like I take a screenwriting and I assistant teach screenwriting, and like one of the things I always say is when you write something, I don't know if this is true anymore, but when you write something, you should always write a movie for Nicolas Cage because he's so broke. There's a good chance he'll do it right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, not now though, right? He's doing fine now, isn't
No,
he?
maybe it's changed, but like 6 or 7 years ago, he was doing all these movies.
Right.
Not a lot of them were good, but they were just like he just comes in, he's like, "Hey, I'm Nicolas Cage."
Yeah. Yeah.
So
He just did a movie where he spoofs himself.
yeah, a massive talent. I thought it was great, so
Yeah.
funny. Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. I'm not worried about him. I'm worried about me.
Oh, I'm not worried about you. I mean, you're a rock star. I'm
Uh,
worried. I'm worried about Victor.
yeah. I think we all are, but it's okay.
Same. Worried about Victor too.
Yeah.
Victor,
We
what are
gotta
your
both move.
questions
Victor's
for
fine.
Adrian?
Oh
Sorry,
shit.
what was that, Adrian? Sorry, Keith was like talking over you.
No, he asked if you have any questions for me, Victor.
Oh yeah, no, I have a few questions. You were in the movie Casa de mi Padre, which is like all in Spanish. So I was wondering,
Yeah.
how does acting differ in the Spanish language production versus an English language production?
That's interesting. That movie was the first time an A-lister, Will Ferrell, uh, starred in a movie that was a co-production with the United States and Mexico. It hadn't been done before, and it was an independent movie. It deserved a better fate. They didn't put any money into, advertising it. It was just Will Ferrell doing some talk shows. And if you ever see him, I don't know if you can still find it, but he did an interview with Jimmy Kimmel where he comes out on a wooden horse and Diego Luna is a plant in the audience.
Yeah.
and it's hysterical. I don't want to say more than that, but it's very funny. But I don't think there's. Yeah, I mean, the only difference is you just got to memorize it in Spanish. But to me, the character doesn't know. The character itself doesn't know, what it is. The character is just basically the character, and so you just learn the language. But the process is the same, learn your lines, learn the living shit out of your lines so that you can just show up to set and no matter what they throw at you, you're ready. So that was the case. And that's the case in English and Spanish and German or wherever the hell. Just be prepared. Be and don't be prepared like, I can mutter the lines in bed before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
No, because that's not how you're gonna shoot it. You're gonna shoot it in front of, 100 union people who want to wrap early and get the fuck home. And you have to be ready and on point. You have to know these lines and be ready to go.
Have you ever done something where like you had all your lines memorized and then right when they said action, your mind just became totally blank, but you were in such the character that you still maybe not word for word what the script was, but you basically got the point across?
That actually happened to me on Sopranos. Like I was nervous. Again, I was very young and I was nervous. I was working with Edie Falco and I forget what the line was, but I said instead of the, one of those. And the director yelled cut. And then Edie came up to me and she said, actually your line is the ba, 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 not a blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Oh yes, yes, yeah. And I'm like, fuck, I thought I knew this. Um, she is so like she's like a machine. Like you just can't,
Yeah.
understand how good she is. I mean, she's just but it was a lesson in humility because I thought I was the shit. And I'm 20 and life's I'm on the soprano, but and then I made a mistake and I flubbed the line in and she was right there like a laser. But nope, nope, it's this. And I was like, yep, you're right, got it. And then we
Yeah.
shot it again and we did it and I got it right. Um, yeah, the one thing I remember about that more than anything was my audition
Yeah.
because they just, you can hire, it was just a few lines, and you can hire any guy to just come in and, say a few lines, assuming that they're reasonably professional and prepared. But I remember like I came into the set and they always say don't use props. They always say that.
Okay.
I was 20 and I didn't know shit. So I just came in with like a little tape recorder and I had queued up some Spanish music on the tape recorder. And I walked into like they called me in. I walked into the room. There's 7 or 8 producers there. And someone read Edie Falco's line and I think the line is hey, where's Joe or whatever it is. He and my line was like, "Oh, he's not going to come in today. Sorry." Simple enough.
Right.
But what got me the job was she said her line, "Where's Joe?" I said, uh, "I don't know. I don't know. He's not coming in with me." And then I hit play, and this Spanish music, this salsa music just starts blasting. And then I just start pantomiming that I'm painting. And then I'm like dancing a little while I'm painting. And that was it. That was it. They started cracking up. Um, and I booked it, because they've seen like, at this point they must have seen like 12 different guys look exactly like me saying the line and just leaving. But if you can come in and stand out in some way,
Yeah.
that's how you book it. It's not enough to be good. You have to stand out.
Yeah. And sometimes like when you mess up on stuff like that, that stays in their head too. They'll be like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's good.
Yeah, but it was the music that got me the job.
Yeah.
Do you remember what song it was?
No, I mean
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that. I'm just like, wonder what song it was.
it was more about the risk than the music itself. You know, like I put into the room the actual what he would do. Because if you see these guys, you know, all over the city, you know, they what are they doing? They're repairing this or repairing, but they got music going, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Because to them, you know, they're just trying to stay focused and keep moving. So I thought, well, I'll just bring that into the scene, and it worked.
Oh my god. Well, Victor, do you have any last second questions for Adrian before I ask my final two?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
What type of advice would you have for people trying to break into creating shows or creating a production company?
I mean, it's all right there, man. It's all right there. I mean, there's a movie that went to Sundance called Tangerine. It was completely shot on the iPhone.
Oh, wow.
You couldn't have done that in the 90s or early 2000s. I mean, it's all right there. Just grab your boys and sit down, stop the bullshit and write. You know, all you got to do now, give me 10 pages. Give me 5 pages of something that really moves you, something that really keeps you up at night. You can't stop thinking about it. If 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 it's something that's haunting you and you have to give it a voice, that's what you write and that's what you shoot. That was the case for me with I Gilbert. I couldn't stop thinking about that guy taking photos of that girl on the subway. It haunted me. So once you start feeling haunted, and it has to cut that deeply, once you start feeling haunted and really need to actually give this story a voice, give this episode of your life a voice, once that happens, shoot it. You know, write it down and shoot it. Nobody gives a fuck, you know, if you have a steady cam or not. It's really about character and story.
Yeah.
And you don't need a lot. I mean, you know, you watch all these horror movies by that guy. What's his name? He does like one horror movie. He produced Get Out.
Oh, Jordan Peele.
No, not Jordan Peele. Like the big producer. These guys, there's a whole like cottage industry
Oh,
of
James
all these.
Wayne. The Saw
No,
guys. No? All right. I don't know.
but the point is that they've got this cottage industry of taking a story that's like a horror story. Typically, it's all taking place in one or two sets. They keep it very confined, but they come up with this hook that makes you want to see the movie. But it's always a very minimal amount of sets and this and they it works. It's become this big franchise for them. Um, and you can shoot this. You can just shoot that. You know, you grab your friends, right? Come up with something that you absolutely are motivated to tell, you know, and something that haunts you. Grab your friends and use your phone and just shoot it, man. And that's the fastest way to do it. But it has to have characters that you actually want to see, and it has to have writing that you actually want to hear. You know, like that's it.
Yeah.
All the other fancy shit, you know, that's bonus to me. But even Francis Ford Coppola, I remember they asked him, like, what's the two most important part of a movie? He said, the writing and the acting. He didn't even say directing. He said the writing and the acting. Because when you go to a movie, I mean, what are you seeing? You know,
Yeah.
you're seeing the writing and the acting. You know, I mean, and if those aren't on point, you know, but that to me is the way in.
It's awesome. Victor, you got anything else?
No, I'm just stunned, like because I've always heard people say about passion and love, but the whole I've never heard that concept of something that haunts you, something that you got to put into paper. That I've never heard it. The phrase just haunted, and so like for me, it really sticks, and it's really inspirational. So thank you for not just answering the question, but like really giving me like a lot of motivation to take the next step on some of my projects.
It's there, Victor. It's there. You don't have to be Coppola to shoot something. You don't have to be Jordan Peele. You have to be Victor Pacheco. At his,
Yeah.
you
Absolutely.
have to be Victor Pacheco at his most honest, brutal self, you know? The part that you don't want anyone to see, that's the voice we need to see, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck you're thinking about at 3 in the morning, when you think you're by yourself, you know, whatever dream pops up, that's the golden ticket right there. And it exists for you and it exists for all of us. We all are haunted by a story. We all have something we see that's an injustice, or we see something that's completely hysterical and we can't stop thinking about it. Give that a fucking voice. It is your responsibility to give it a voice. The world needs your voice.
Yeah.
We can't just keep watching Barbies all the time. You know, we need all kinds of voices.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of Barbie, I think you would have been great in that.
Thank you.
Just saying,
Well, I worked with Margot and on a movie called Focus with
which
Will
was
Smith,
great. Yeah.
and I can tell you firsthand, she's the most fantastically beautiful, wonderful person I've ever met in this business. She's just, ah, my God. And she was generous. I mean, I didn't know her.
Yeah.
And the first day I started improvising the craziest shit, man. And she didn't bat an eye. She I remember where were we? Buenos Aires. We were in Buenos Aires. And there's this scene where we were, you know, I walk in and I say my character's Farhad. Farhad says, oh, I see you like the women here. And she says, oh, I suppose. And I said, oh, you do more than suppose. And she said, well, what do you mean? I said, look, every time you speak, I smell vagina. And that was an ad lib. And she
Right.
was like, what? And
Uh,
because that's something that Farhad would have said. And he would have said it because if you know the movie, it's about con men.
yeah.
So, so I decided as a con man myself in the movie to test her. I want to really see if I can throw her because I really need to understand whether or not she's going to be loyal to Nikki, played by Will Smith.
Right.
So I was trying to throw her off her game by saying the most outrageous shit. And to her credit, Margot never broke character, and that's the scene you see in the movie. And it's because she didn't break character. So I'll always love her for being that generous.
Oh,
Um, and yeah,
well, that's awesome. Adrian, I want to respect your time, but I have two more questions. Is it okay if I ask them?
yes, please.
Okay. So I wanted to ask you, when you get reject parts, do you ever have you ever rejected something that after you saw it, you kind of think, okay, maybe I wish I didn't reject that?
Um, I say yes, unless it's like something that I feel is in some way humiliating to me, or I mean, I say yes. You have to say yes. I mean, when I was starting out, I said yes to I must have done 50, 75 plays all over New York in dumps in like fucking shitholes, man. But I got good and I learned what I was doing, what I could and could not do. And then as I moved into film and TV, you know, I said yes because I needed the experience. You know, I was starting out. I did an America's Most Wanted episode. I happened to look like the perp that they were looking for,
Yeah.
and I just needed the experience, and I got it. You know, I just like they took me down to Philadelphia. They handed me an Uzi, and they said, "Okay, just shoot 100 rounds. Just shoot the whole clip. You're gonna be sitting on the passenger side of this car. The car's gonna be going at 60 miles an hour. Hold on to this steel bar." And that's it. Rolling. I'm like, wait. Um, I mean, that's stunt work. I'm just a guy, you know. I don't really want to get paid. And the guy was like, "You want to get paid?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to get paid, but rolling."
Oh my God.
And yeah, and I did it. And those reenactments on that show are like bargain basement cheap, man. Like it's just like You are
Yeah.
not going to be. This isn't a Ben Stiller set. This is like, oh my God. Um, but I got the experience, and you build a career, and so my advice is say yes to anything, man. Unless it's something that really goes against your values, don't do it.
Yeah. All right. And then my last question is, and I actually took this question from my friend, but it's a good question. If you could go into a time machine and talk to a younger version of yourself and tell yourself what you know now, what would you tell yourself?
Don't stop till you're proud. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't stop until you're proud. Like preparing for an audition, really put in the work until you know you're gonna be proud, whether you book it or not. Because that can be for any fucking reason, man. Either way, it could be for any reason. Oh yeah, I just saw this guy in The Guilty. I want to see him. Let's just put him in there.
Yeah.
I'm not smoking, but I'm pretending I'm smoking because that's what I do.
Yeah.
This is Joan Crawford in some fucking movie. Like so just do it until you're proud, like show up to set. If you do a take and it's just not, and director says, okay, that was great, let's move on. But it doesn't really feel great to you.
Yeah.
Ask for another take. Have the balls to ask for another. I said, I need one more. Why? That was great. No, I got one more that's going to be greater.
All right.
All right. All right. Adrian wants one more.
He
One
wants
more.
to hug Sandra Bullock again.
Yeah. Well, I asked for a lot of takes on that. I'll tell you that. I can still smell her on me. Oh, yeah.
Uh,
I think it was Chanel. I love her.
Adrian,
She's
we're
in, she's in semi-retirement. Right? Like, what's she doing?
that's what I heard, but I also heard she has her own film studio and teaches like acting or something. I mean, I don't know. I don't know Sandra Bullock, but that seems like something she would do.
Yeah. Well, why am I talking to you? We should all go there.
Yeah, let's go there.
Go there. Yeah.
Yeah. Where can the folks at home follow and support you at?
Thank you. I listen, I don't want to do social media, but my wife's like, no, you have to do social media or you're nothing. I'm like, damn, that's okay. So they can follow me on Instagram at Taste of Adrian.
Taste of Adrian.
Taste, yeah. It's a taste, it's a sample of me, like don't get weirdo. It's just a taste
Yeah,
of Adrian.
it's a taste of yeah. That's what.
Yeah.
Uh, Adrian, thank you so much. And when you do stand up comedy, I want to do a show with you. I think it would be great.
Listen, I think that would have to be the way to do it because frankly, I would need your experience, Keith. I would need you to be there for me and say, hey, it's all gonna be okay.
All right.
And Victor has to go too.
Yeah, we could do a
Yeah,
tour, the three of us.
yeah,
The Taste of Adrian tour.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it would have to be something like that because I'm just gonna be so nervous. I
That's
admire
normal.
you guys for doing stand up. It takes brass ones. My friend Sarah Cooper, she's do you know Sarah Cooper? She did those viral videos where she lip syncs to Trump.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, we just did Unfrosted together for Jerry Seinfeld, and that's coming out later. Anyway, she's a fantastic comic, and I just like, how do you do it, man? So I have nothing but respect for stand-up guys, like Bill Burr and Chappelle. I mean, these guys just like, but yeah, and Keith Reza, like you've got
Oh,
brass ones, Keith.
you're awesome, buddy. But yeah, well, I could definitely see you doing it, and we'll definitely do a show together. I think it will be great, man.
Thank you, man. I'll be there.
All right, Adrian. Well, have a good day, and thank you for rifting with us.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys.
Talking to you.
That was the episode with Adrian Martinez, guys. Subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend, and we'll see you guys next week on Reza Riffs.
You're listening to Reza Riffs with Keith Reza and Alan Lee, right here on LA Talk Radio.